We welcome you back to Season 2 of a new year of the Student Section Podcast. We are back finally here in Studio B. Before we start, we have some great guests. Let's go around and see the returning Student Section. Aidan?
How are you? Aidan, Lavin, back again. Good to be here for Season 2. Will, always a pleasure to do this with you.
Yes, this is great.
Should be fun.
Stefan?
Stefan Duncan, back again. Great to be back. Great to be on camera. We have two great guests. It's going to be a great show.
Yes, and returning once again, our executive producer, Gary Sussman. We'll have some other special guests throughout the season on the student section side and on the guest side. But without further ado, this is major. Our first two guests of Episode 1, Season 2 come from the Marist men's basketball team. It's Josh Pascarelli and Jadin Collins. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are so happy to have you. A lot has gone on in the last year for your lives personally, the Marist men's team, and here at Marist in full. Let's start with both of you. You guys are so close, right? You were roommates last year. How did that relationship build up to where it is today?
Just being with Josh, like even before like being roommates, like we kind of clicked, like having official visits together and stuff like that. So we clicked pretty easily. So there's not much to say. It was just like easy to click with him. Like our humor is very much the same. We love our families. We're very much family people. So yeah, it was kind of easy to click with him.
I assume same for you, Josh, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, over the summer, our first summer here as freshmen, it was like, we didn't really know too many people, so we just, like, was with each other. We go put up shots together. I mean, even we bonded over, like, South Park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're tri-state guys, right?
Yep.
Tri-state. Okay, so there's always a bond there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the same values coming out of the three states. Weird story. I don't know if you know this, Jadin, or you guys know this, but over the summer, I live in the city, and Josh, you're from Queens, right?
Yeah.
I'm walking into my building, regular day, I think it was a Saturday, and I see some guy with a Marist hat. And, I'm a conversational guy, so I stop the guy. I say, "Hey, Marist," and he's like, "Marist," and I go, "Oh, did you go there?" He's maybe in his 30s.
Yeah.
I go, "Marist, did you go there? Do you go there?" And he goes, "No, I don't go there, but I know someone who goes there." I'm like, "No. Okay. Who do you know?" He's like, "It's his name is Josh. He's my nephew." I go, "What? Josh what?" Josh Pascarelli. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, what are the chances of that?"
Yeah.
And this is your uncle,
My
right?
uncle, yep.
And he seemed like you guys were pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, this is my Uncle Steve.
Uncle
That's my
Steve.
dad's little brother.
Great.
So, I mean, he lived in the city for a minute, so.
Are you a big Queens guy?
Yeah.
You like
Queens.
the vibe of the city?
I love Queens.
You're not a big city guy, right?
Not really. I'm rural town, nice little Randolph, New Jersey. Not much going on, but it's okay. I like it.
Are you a city guy?
I prefer the city over rural, but I mean, it's kind of nicer in the rural area. But the city is always fun.
Then of course.
Jersey on top.
Jersey.
Yep.
Jersey on top.
boy.
Here we go.
Yankees or Mets? Or neither?
Neither.
Neither?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really watch baseball, but if I'd pick one, I'd pick Yankees.
Okay. You're not a big postseason baseball guy?
I mean, if it's on, I might watch it.
Honestly, recently that's how I felt. I feel like everything is just getting so much busier
Yeah,
for
there's a
everybody.
lot of
Everything is
stuff
going
going
on.
on.
Yeah.
Especially for them, they have to
especially for
balance
those
guys.
all
Yeah.
that.
It's
Do
crazy.
you, when obviously you both basketball players, are you following the NBA at all and watching anything, even just for entertainment purposes, or because you think there's some value of watching the game and then maybe taking something from that and putting it into your own game?
I know he watches a lot more basketball than me. I think you probably watch more NBA
I
than
watch
me.
more NBA.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty like dived into college basketball. But I mean, yeah, like in terms of like watching something and then putting it like into our own game and stuff. I say we probably do that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, certain NBA players, like, I just like to see how they, like, read certain situations. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. point guard position. Like I'm not really a point guard, but like I like to see it like Chris Paul
Yep.
can read the defense.
Yep.
It's just cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with him and Wemby. That'll be fun to watch just because there's a guy that I don't think anyone's ever seen before, and now you pair him with one of the best players for centers. I mean, everyone talks about like Tyson Chandler and all the centers that he's gotten paid. Now he's with Wembanyama, and that's going to be pretty interesting to watch.
Would you say you model a certain NBA player, active or former, after your game?
I mean,
To an extent.
I really like watching Devin Booker because he is like a shooting guard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not 6'5". Like he's a shooting guard, and I like how he plays the game. So I like to watch a lot of Devin Booker.
And yourself?
Maybe like little things about like multiple players. Like I'd probably say like Derrick Rose. Maybe I like his game a lot. That was my favorite player. Obviously, him retiring, that was crazy.
It was sad.
Yeah,
it was sad. It was
man.
a beautiful video.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He's a big one. Like Westbrook, they have like similar games, very explosive guards. But those two are definitely the main two. Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, would you? This is a crazy question, but Saturday night, no game on, no game for you, no practice. You flipping on a Canisius Niagara game, or you flipping on a UNC Duke game?
UNC Duke.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I figured.
unless it's like towards the end where like somebody's whoever wins and loses like
You
kind
can
of
play them.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. So
Yeah.
I think we did that last year.
We did.
Yeah. So yeah, it depends. But like if it's not for that, then yeah, probably the UNC.
That's
game.
fair.
Yeah.
I think the student section would say the same here.
Yep,
Yeah.
I would agree. Do you guys, now that you've gone through 1 year and we're talking about a little bit about MAAC basketball, what was the postseason tournament like for you two?
You want to go first?
Well, I mean, it was nerve-wracking, first postseason tournament. But, you got to go with that for basketball. But it was exciting being there, first of all, because you get that experience. It was nice to experience that. But, championship team.
Jadin Collins, first team All-MAAC championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then also this upcoming year, we'll talk about it more. Marist poll was just released, their coaches poll, and their preseason All-MAAC selections. We have a first-team MAAC selection preseason and a second-team MAAC selection preseason. It's a star-studded couch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're not. Me and Josh aren't very big on that. Like
course.
we look at it in like our we're what's the word, like happy that we got it, grateful. I think is the word. We're grateful, but like me and him saw each other and we really didn't even like congratulate each other on it. Like we're just like on to the next thing. Like we're trying to get a
It's
chip.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the mindset you gotta have.
Exactly.
You really do.
Yeah. So but yeah, definitely grateful for like the people that showed their showed that they said congrats to us. Like we're definitely grateful for that. Not saying we're not, but we take the congrats, say thank you, and we on to the next day of like getting some work done. So I mean, yeah.
That's the goal, to get past last season in
Right.
Yep.
Atlantic City. You want to get to the championship,
Right.
if not to the tournament.
Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of that, you guys were ranked second, obviously, and what is that? Is there sort of something that you kind of take from that heading into the season where you were ranked second but not first, and obviously the goal is first and to win the championship? Is there something that you guys take away from the early preseason poll?
Well, I mean, it's like great. It's great. We were ranked second. This is the highest we've been ranked in a minute, I've heard. Since like 2008 or something.
2008.
2007. Yeah. Like that's really cool. But number one is what we were aiming for, and it is preseason, and we get why. Like they chose Quinnipiac. They have 4 of their 5 returning starters. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
We have 3 of our returning starters, but I don't know. I just feel like once the season gets rolling, we'll see the number 1 spot really is.
It's MAAC basketball.
It's MAAC
You
basketball.
never know.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly.
We saw it last year. We saw it 2 years ago with Marist, the 11th seed.
That's true.
They went
Yeah.
to the finals.
Right.
Is there any extra emphasis put on those 2 Quinnipiac games that you'll eventually play because obviously you were ranked one below them, or is it more of a take every game by game basis?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, say a little bit of both.
Yeah, because, like, if we were ranked lower, we have a chip on our shoulder.
Right.
But it's hard because you still want to have a chip on
Yeah.
your shoulder being ranked second.
Yeah.
So that's hard. But I think we'll be okay because coach has done a good job of, like, reiterating, yeah, we're going to be ranked high. This is before the rankings come up. We're going to be ranked high, but you're going to have a target on your back.
Yeah.
So if anything, expectations are probably are even higher.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get teams basically best performance every game.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, Marist is 2. We can beat Marist. So, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's a little bit of it's a little bit of both. Yeah.
How do you two go about reaching and exceeding those expectations personally to help the team? What were the things you guys did this summer to improve your game?
Just being consistent with the work. Like, if you do something every day, you know you'll get better. Like, I just feel more confident in my, like, abilities now, like, just shooting-wise, playmaking-wise. And, it's just really being consistent. That's how you get better during the off-season, and you work on the right things instead of things that you never do in a game. So I feel like that's what's helping me the most.
Yeah. And, so along with that, like, I feel like a big part of it is we both have tons of confidence in each other. And the same thing goes for the rest of the team. But, just specifically me and him, already we've had practices where, like, we're not, like, making shots or, like, we might be turning the ball over. Like, we both hold each other accountable to be like, bro, you got too many turnovers. That might have not been the right shot.
Yeah.
Like, you good. Just next play. So that's, like, I think that's one of the, one of the most important things about our relationship, being teammates, being, like, brothers. Like, we hold each other accountable so that, not only we can get better, so the team can, perform better once game time comes. So.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it. There are a lot of returners, but there are also a few new guys.
Right.
And the new guys, I mean, Elijah Lewis, Parby, you have Roberts. You have a lot of people.
Yeah. We have a lot of depth this year. To keep it simple, any one of us can go. Like, any
That's
one of
great.
us can. Yeah, you
That's
know what
great.
I mean? So, I think you guys will like that a lot. Like, there's gonna be no, like, drop off after like when there's a sub. There's no drop off.
Constantly.
Like, you got shooters coming off the bench. You got rebounders coming off the bench. Driver, like, playmaking. You have everything coming off the bench just as much as it's on the court already. So,
Depth is the number one thing that wins championships.
Right.
Look at Boston. Look at anybody.
exactly.
And then for you personally, there's another Roberts.
Yeah.
You, Jadin. That was one. I texted you this. That was one of the nicest videos I've ever seen over the summer. It was very heartwarming. What was the behind the scenes on the video? The surprise. Give us a little bit of backstory.
Man, it was a really long-term, like, plan between me and my mom. It was probably right before, around December. So, like, obviously during the season and stuff. You had to do like legal documentation and stuff like that, like changing stuff before it's, like, actually, like, okay, this is your actual name. So, driver's license, social security, a bunch of stuff. So had to get that all done without my dad knowing to make it a surprise. I believe I had all the coaches in on it. I had Josh in on it, Jackson. They knew about it for a while. One time actually came to do it. It was he came to Marist. He just thought it was a regular, like, visit, maybe, like, see practice or something like that. Like, he ain't having no clue. Just had the jersey hanging up in the locker room with the name, and that's about it. It was big, definitely big for me. at the same time, I kind of felt like I was already like
You were
part
already.
of. Yeah, I was
And
already.
for those who don't know what we're talking about,
Right.
you have a new last name.
Right. Yeah, it's Jadin Collins Roberts. It was just Jadin Collins before. Stepfather Keith Roberts. So yeah, I added on Roberts to my last name. So yeah, big change, but also a change that I thought was already made once I identified him as like my father.
That's great.
Yeah, as a caregiver. So
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Did you ever find yourself trying to hide this, or it didn't come up in conversation, Josh?
Yeah, it was like when he told me about it, I was like, wow, that's like dope. That's like amazing, right? It was funny. I was talking with Coach Dilip, and he told me he didn't talk to Jadin's dad for like a month because he didn't want to like say anything.
He's a chatty guy.
Yeah, he was like, nah. He was like, I just had to like back off. That was funny.
yeah.
That was funny. For you two, you referenced being brothers, so obviously with that, there's got to be, even living with each other outside the basketball court, there's got to be a pet peeve or two, or something that he does that maybe like he's a better 2K player. There's got to be something.
All right, I'm going first.
That was quick.
Jadin snores.
That dude snore.
It was bad. He'd like wake himself up.
Oh no.
Like he'll snore. And it's just like, there were times where I just legit, like just TV's off, nothing. I had to put on like my headphones because it was just like.
You still hear it through the headphones though?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh
Yeah.
no.
I was like, wow, okay. Just fall asleep. Like,
It's an
that was
adjustment, yeah.
like he'd wake up, he'd look at you, and then just go back to sleep.
Yeah. Like I would think it's him. And I would wake up thinking it's him. I'm like, nah, it was definitely me. And then I had to go back to sleep.
But are you a sleep talker though?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I didn't hear anything. You could have.
Yeah, I could have, but I don't think so. It might have been like, I think it's mainly just snoring, which is still bad. Like I hate that I do that, but
So what?
yeah.
So be it.
I really don't have any for him. Like at first it was the TV, like being on when like we like falling asleep, like he would fall asleep watching TV.
Yeah.
But like then I started like needing it. Like it was a white noise basically. So like yeah, I really don't have any. I wish I had one for him.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
It is good. Yeah.
Snoring is pretty minimal. That's a sleep pet peeve. There's at least there's no day pet peeves.
Yeah.
Right? I could name a few for you. I'm joking.
William.
It's the student section. Gotta have jokes. But I mentioned So Be It.
Right.
New clothing line, if we can get in here somehow. So Be It.
It's on a shirt, too.
Released. So Be It. It's great. It's a great motto to live by. What would you consider the motto in your eyes?
Just kind of like a lifestyle. Just like, whether it's good things or like bad things happening in your life or whatever, like it's just, it's like a synonym for it is what it is, but I mean for one I think it sounds cooler. And but yeah, it's like, something bad happens, you're on to the next, just like something happened bad in basketball, like a turnover. It's like, all right, so be it, next thing, like next play. Miss a shot, next play. Obviously, it doesn't have to just be basketball. It could be other sports. It doesn't have to just be sports. It could be school. Something happens in your family. Like it could really be anything. So, yeah, like I said, like a lifestyle you live by, and I think it's just a way of living. And yeah, just on to the next thing.
Is there a place that we fans, anyone here at Marist, can purchase or get So Be It?
Yes. Soon I should be having it in the Emporium at Steel Plant.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. The Emporium's having a Fall Fest event, I believe, next week. It's going to be there. And last but not least, I'm going to have it in the McCann store.
That's great.
Probably around, like, game start. So somewhere around there. But yeah, I'm right now it's just T-shirts, simple. But I'm looking to expand that. Yeah,
You gotta
crew
do it.
necks, sweatshirts, stuff like that.
No, go ahead.
Have you made Josh model any of your clothes yet, or has he not had to do that yet?
Nah, not yet. Not yet.
Will it happen?
It's an
It will
idea.
happen.
It will
yeah.
happen. I've seen you and Jackson, very drippy, very cool, very, very, very old school with the crew necks
Right.
and those film pictures. They're really cool.
Yeah.
We'll put one right here. They are seriously like I might have to purchase one.
Yeah,
I
go
might have
ahead. Go do that.
Into
man.
the Emporium in the steel plant building, right?
Yes.
Okay. I've not even been there yet. That's
Okay,
that's
yeah,
how
you
bad
gotta,
of a
yeah, you got to get
Marist
there.
guy I've been.
Yeah.
It's great. Have you been there?
I have been there, and you guys have a new drop coming out in the
Yes.
coming week.
I
or
believe so.
Yeah.
I haven't got the details on when, but yeah, it should be soon. It's a couple things. I'm gonna forget a couple of the things, but it's like a Marist red crew neck sweater, like more sweater material. There's a couple crew necks. I think there's also a more of a tannish one. Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff in there. It's the progression is building. Like it's you have a lot more people trying to do their own thing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lot of nice stuff in there.
Josh, you a fashion guy at all?
Not really. It's not my thing, here and there. I mean, like essentials, billionaire boys. I mean, really, more just sweatpants, just throwing sweatpants.
Comfortable.
Sweater, I'm good.
Comfy, yeah.
Comfortable.
Do you have any other outside ventures that you're trying to pursue? Like, obviously, Jadin has his clothing brand. Are there things that you're looking forward to doing?
I mean, I don't really, not sure yet. It's just really just basketball right now.
Stick to
Do my
basketball.
schoolwork, get that stuff out the way. I mean, but I enjoy I watch a lot of documentaries.
There you go.
So, I mean,
What
that's the thing
genre?
to look forward
What area of documentary?
to. I actually like watching a lot of serial killer.
Oh,
Like,
fun.
Oh
fun.
no, scratch that. That's my pet peeve.
No, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Not a
yeah.
serial. Well, I'm not a serial killer guy, but like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, he watches a lot of those.
A lot.
A lot.
What about it interests you?
I don't know. It's just crazy how they get away with it for
Yeah.
so long, and then when you actually see them, how they get caught, it's
Yeah.
normally the stupidest thing.
Yeah, that is true. Did you watch the Dahmer one?
I didn't. That show.
Yeah.
I did not watch the show.
Okay.
I watched a documentary about it. The show is just too much. It was got
Gotcha.
too deep into it.
Yeah,
But the documentary, I watched that. I watched the Ted Bundy.
Mm,
I watched the John Wayne
oh,
Gacy.
the goats. It's a shame. But
Technically,
John
yeah.
Wayne Gacy, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
do
Things
you
you
get
learn.
Do you get freaked out? I can't watch these. I don't like murder.
Like it's
I mean,
not,
I
yeah,
hope.
yeah, I don't exactly. I don't like. I would. I don't know if I would wake. I wouldn't wake up to them, but I might walk in. Obviously, last year, walk into in the room and it would just be something gruesome happening or something, and I say what's up and I walk out
Okay.
basically. Yeah, he likes scary movies. Well, not scary movies. But,
I also do watch scary movies. Though, too.
Oh boy.
yeah, he's that
Horror
he's
guy.
that
So
kind of guy.
you're excited about Halloween coming up? Is that your thing?
I like Halloween.
Yeah.
I do like the vibe of Halloween.
You either have the scary Halloween fans or the goofy Halloween fans, right?
That's
you have
true.
I'm gonna dress up as Mario and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna go as Ted Bundy.
Yeah, that's true.
Any Halloween plans or any Halloween costumes? Maybe a
I mean,
duo.
Probably not. It was Halloween on a Tuesday or something.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Halloween is
Thursday,
Tuesday.
weekday. Yeah, I hate a weekday
I
Halloween.
hate it. Weekday.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything anyway. I didn't do anything last year. Probably just watch a movie. Probably watch It or something.
There you go. That's good.
Will you be joining?
No, not at all. Not even close. I don't know what I'll do. It's like you said, it's on a whatever day.
Thursday or
weekday.
Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah. So, I probably won't do anything.
Did you guys obviously trick or treated when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
I
there,
do.
maybe this is a good basketball question. Is there something that I had a bad game. I want a candy. What is the candy that you would be reaching for?
Reese's.
Reese's, just like the
Yeah,
regular
big Reese's,
cups.
yeah.
The cups.
Those are good.
The cups. Reese's cups.
That's a hard one. I love candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
Big
big candy
candy.
guy.
Like you guys,
Yeah, I'm a big candy
you like
guy.
you like candy?
Oh, I would love a good Hershey bar.
Oh, wow.
Love
Okay.
a good Hershey bar. Right
With
now.
almonds or without almonds?
That's a good question.
Almonds.
Almonds make it.
I'm a without type of guy.
Interesting. You're an almond
I
guy.
like it
I'm
plain.
okay.
Like it plain.
Aiden?
Cookies and cream Hershey bars are good too.
Oh,
Those are
Cookies and
good.
cream.
Oh, yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah. Oh, other than that, though, I don't know. I
What
tried.
about you? What about you?
Me, I really like chocolate.
You got a lot of chocolate, guys.
Yeah, I would say like I like fudge.
Okay.
Fudge is very good. It's very heavy, but like one little bite of fudge, and I'm good.
A lot of chocolate, guys.
Fudge is good.
Did you decide?
Sour Patch Kids, probably.
Yeah.
Sour
Skittles,
Patch Kids.
Skittles.
Every
It's a
flavor?
lot. Yeah, I love every flavor.
He
I
was
love
starting
candy.
to diss the chocolate, so I knew he was going
Yeah.
somewhere with the
Right.
sour
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah.
Makes sense.
On the topic of something you would have for a go-to, what's a go-to pregame song? Like
It's beauty.
right before game, you're on the court, locking in, just putting up shots. What's the song that you're gonna go to?
You have
Well,
yours?
me, it's something Drake.
Such a Drake guy.
I'm such a Drake guy. I don't know. Last year it was
Oh, I know.
You
it.
Broke My Heart.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one. Also, What Would Pluto Do? I like that. I don't know, definitely some Drake.
What would Pluto do is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. It would definitely have to be something like upbeat. Not about like love or anything like that. Like literally just like kind of like hype music. Like Ken Carson, his stuff, their stuff is good.
Something that they would play at media day to just like hype you up.
Yeah, something like that. I can't get a specific song right now, but like I was a big Uzi guy like in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like junior year when he was like really like still coming out with stuff. So like my high school career, yeah, when he was coming out with stuff, I was big on Uzi. I'll still dabble in Uzi before a game. I just need something like to get me pumped. Yeah.
Well, you baseball, right? Did you have a warm up song?
That's a good question. Did I have a warm-up song? I don't know. It really just, I think it's more of a like day-to-day thing more than because some days I want like rap, other days I want just pop, other days I want classic rock, like a Seven Nation Army sort of thing. Depends on the day. Yeah.
You got an answer.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Jadin. Ken Carson, anytime, any day.
All right.
Anytime, any day, man.
That's a good one.
Back in my 7th grade basketball days, I put the headphones on and I was always listening to All the Way Up by Fat Joe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What about prior to your intramural flag football games?
Oh, prior to my yes, Aidan is my referee
I
for
was
intramural
yesterday, yeah.
flag football games. I gotta say, welcome to the party, the one with Diplo, like nah, 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 nah.
Nice. House music
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Good for
yeah.
you.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I know. I mean, you're going into your second season. You stayed at Marist. Do you value that continuity aspect going into last year? You know the same guys. Yeah, there are a few new guys, but you really have the same bonds with the same guys, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that you kind of value during the offseason if you work with them?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, other than me and him, because obviously, me and his chemistry on and off the court is just, it's high. But like, yeah, so people like Jackson, Jadin Daughtry, Trace, yeah, like all the returning guys. Yeah, it's just we don't do anything specific.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Look at this.
Wow, we just got a special delivery.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
I'll dabble with some
Halloween.
Reese's.
We have Almond Joy, everyone's
dabble with
favorite,
some
and Reese's. Reese's?
Yeah,
Reese's.
I'll get another one.
Sure.
No.
I'll take an Almond Joy.
You want which one?
I'll take a Reese's.
You want this one?
Happy Halloween. Reese's.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Shout
I
out
mean,
to
it's on the
Reese's.
spot.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Almond Joy.
Take-
Sponsor. Need them as a sponsor.
That's great.
That'd be nice.
Thank you, guys. Only at the student section. Where
That's
else do
right.
you get Reese's and Almond Joy? A little snack break.
So,
You ever find yourself eating on the sideline, or is that not allowed?
on the sideline? Nah.
Do you chew gum when you're playing? Some people
Nah.
do.
Some people do.
Some
I
people
don't
do,
understand.
but
well,
I can't.
you remember what happened with Jackson's tooth last year?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
He was definitely chewing something.
Some people do chew gum, and I never understood that. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, in basketball, you don't see it a lot in basketball. At least not in the MAAC, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see that a lot. Who
Vaughn actually chewed gum last year.
Vaughn did chew gum.
Vaughn
Yeah.
would chew gum every game.
I feel like that would just make either my mouth dry or I would just be constantly worried it would leave.
I wouldn't be able to like
I wouldn't be able
focus
to
on
focus.
breathing.
Yeah.
Like I'd get tired. I'm like chewing.
That's interesting that he chewed gum.
Even
There was a
Every game.
study a couple years ago that said it was like one of the things that like kept you focused during like a game and stuff, and then that's why people started doing it.
That's interesting.
But it's like I think it was more of just a thing where it was something to like concentrate on outside of just the court.
Yeah.
You know who I used to think, this is very random basketball stuff, who used to chew gum? He would always take a pack of gum before he went in. You remember Courtney Lee on the Knicks? I don't know how I remember that, but and especially at the free throw line, he'd be like, and he was one of the best free throw shooters in Knicks history. So
Maybe there's
something
it.
to there.
Yeah, who knows?
Juicy fruit and you shoot 90%. I think that could be.
Are there any, like, if we had to say one word to describe the team this year, what would that word be?
Good question.
I try my best.
Gotta give me a second here.
Yeah.
Damn, you got one?
Thinking. I mean,
Reese's.
Sponsor us. Sponsor Josh.
I know.
Sponsor Josh.
I don't know. I'd say.
Maybe fast.
If
I-
not a word, is there a sentence that you could think of?
I get that 50.
One word I'd say is hardworking. I feel like we worked harder this year. Like, no offense, like anybody, like last year. Like, not trying to say, but like, I feel like we're buying in together as like more of a group,
Right.
especially early on. Like, we just get that like it's more team
Yeah.
than anything. So I'd say like hardworking.
Yeah. Does any of that come from, like, that taste of having some success last year and wanting more of it? Because I think that obviously is pretty prevalent. Like, if you have a returning team, you're going to, and you didn't win the championship last year, that's sometimes a benefit as opposed to winning it. Obviously, you want to win it, but
Right.
to improve, it's hard to find something to be motivated about, like you said earlier, with the chip on your shoulder. You want something to be able to go after, and if you already have won that championship, it's hard to continue to want more.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I'm still trying to think of the word, but like a sentence, like, yeah, we're just like a faster paced team this year, which is gonna, if we do it correctly, it's gonna be fun. Which I think we will. I think we're gonna do it correctly. At first, it was different for me and him, cause like, yeah, we showed glimpses of like running the court like after a rebound or like a steal or like but like I said, it was glimpses. It wasn't all the time. We're looking to do that.
What does
every
that
time.
take for it to be all the time?
Endurance.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely running a lot more in practice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like, obviously,
What's
while
the term
running,
for that now? Do they still call it? I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it at this point. They
I think we
go from the baseline free throw line back to the baseline.
Oh,
and the half court.
Yeah.
Suicide.
That's still what it's called.
Yeah. We definitely
He
do that.
loves to suicide.
Yeah.
He calls it a line sprint. Coach
Okay.
Gunn
Yeah.
calls it a
Line
line
I
sprint.
think it's
Okay.
become like a thing where you can't say it anymore.
I think it's
not
line
correct.
Oh,
sprints.
yeah.
But
So maybe we'll call it line
sprints.
sprint. Yeah.
Interesting.
Is that why he says it line sprint?
I don't know. I just thought he would say line sprint to be different.
Yeah.
Because he likes-
Yeah, I really thought it was. Yeah.
You know, he calls half court the timeline. So
Timeline, no, I respect it. He's by the rule book.
Yeah, we're gonna be a lot faster. I think a lot of, especially you guys and everyone, in here, seeing what we were last year. I think no offense. Like, we were just a slower paced team. I think everyone likes a faster paced game
Right.
team. So I think you guys will appreciate that. You guys will like enjoy that. I can already see it. Like after first, second game, you guys are like, yo.
This is different.
This is different. You said it, but like this really is faster.
Well, you're
paced.
right. The last 2 years, you weren't on the team 2 years ago, but it was a lot of dumping and feeding Patrick Gardner.
Right.
And, Isaiah Brickner would roll, but you really play through him in the paint, whether it be like hook shots or post fades or whatever. And then last year, it was similar with Max. It was a little more of a shooting threat, or not as big of a shooting threat.
Right.
But now it's very positionless this year, right?
Right, yeah. Like I said before, it's no drop off. And yeah, like you said, positionless is that's a pretty good word, keyword. Like anyone on the team could play any position. So.
And I mean, both of you had experience throughout the whole season last year, and obviously you were the ones being mentored last year by older players. What's that like now, where you're the older player and you're kind of mentoring the younger ones?
I mean, it's like it's good to be on that side. So like you know what coach is expecting from you, so you can talk to the other guys and make sure that they're doing what coach wants. Because like I know what it's like to get yelled at for messing up a play, so I don't want you to get yelled at for messing up a play because I know it sucks. So it's like I'm gonna tell you he wants you to do this, like for these certain things, and it's just I feel like it's a good thing to know what he wants to do. I know from like more than one spot, like good amount of the plays. So it's like I can help, like, not even just the guards. Let's say, like, more of, like, the forwards, too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like, piggyback off that, like, just we both do it. And Jackson as well, being, like, the three, like, co-leaders of the team. One of the, like, biggest things we had to make sure we were on top of was not just telling our teammates, our new teammates, how to do things and stuff like that, but like the details of everything, like the little stuff, because Coach Dunn is very on top of like details. That's something he reiterates throughout probably every practice, like don't mess up the details and stuff like that. So
yeah, for a reason.
Right.
Exactly. So we mentioned your so be it. Basically, from what you just said, is this season, so be it. Right? In a good mindset, you want to play fast pace, do it your best, and why not? Right?
Yeah. I get happy talking about what this season is gonna bring with this new team.
Feels happy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how.
Feels happy
from
a student perspective, from every perspective. It genuinely feels. I mean, we haven't even seen it yet. I haven't even seen it yet, but I just know it's gonna be like. Kind of like the Clippers, I don't know, just like fast.
Yeah. I like how you said the depth part of like Celtics. A couple minutes before, like, I like that comparison. Like just the depth wise, that's like the main, and that's one of the most important things with our team. Like we've said, like I've said and you've said like multiple times, we just have a lot of depth and anybody can do everything. So
that's great.
That's what you want.
Well, great. This was absolutely fantastic, guys. Thank you, Josh Pascarelli, first team all preseason. I know you don't like the accolades. I gotta say it. Jadin Collins, second team all preseason. Marist ranked second in the all MAAC preseason poll. Your season starts soon. You probably have a lot of practices right now, right?
Yep.
So. McCann, get loud. McCann, be there. What else can we say? But it's going to be fast, right?
Yep.
Any message to the fans, to McCann?
So be it.
Great ending. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And for the two MAAC preseason members. Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reese's.
We welcome you back to the Student Section podcast for segment number 2. What great guests we just had on, but now we have something new and something special, Aidan.
I'm excited.
All-around utility man in sports comm, the man who does it all. Please welcome all-star Josh Chrysler.
Yeah. Let's go,
Good to
Josh.
be with you guys.
Look at Josh, everybody, joining us on the show. Josh, this is a surprise to me and Aidan. We don't know what is going on right now, honestly. Yeah. We just know that Josh is here with some cool things for us. That is all we knew.
Before we get into that, I just want to know his thoughts on the Bucks. Because you don't see, especially in the New York area, you don't see a bunch of Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans. So I want to hear his perspective on how Baker and the boys are doing down there.
So, I mean, I'm fairly happy with the start to the season. 3-2, you can't complain, but should definitely be 4-1. That primetime loss to Atlanta on Thursday night last week was painful.
Yep.
Stayed up late to watch them lose in overtime.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken. Got the Saints coming up this week. Anyone who knows me knows I hate the Saints. That's my biggest game of the year. I have it circled. So hoping we can get it done this weekend and keep first place.
And for those not around Sportscom, this guy Josh is decked out in Buccaneers gear from head to toe. He's the #1 Buccaneers fan in Poughkeepsie, and I can put that on the board.
Yeah.
You got me on the one day I'm not.
I know.
Head to toe in Bucs
That's
gear.
great. They can believe us. Take our word for it.
Yeah. The other NFL content that has been going around in Sportscom, Jason Myers recap.
Yes, Jason Myers, and you could tune into Center Field for that. We do a weekly Jason Myers video recap. It's been questionable for the last couple of weeks, but yeah, it'll be a fun one. Shall we, Josh?
Yeah.
So explain to us what you'll be doing.
So I came prepared with a question for Aidan and Will today, and I'm hoping I could stir up some good debate among them.
Okay.
Maybe they'll agree, maybe they won't.
Okay.
Interesting.
Let's do it.
So in recent NBA news, the New York Knicks made headlines. They traded for Karl Anthony Towns. So I know Mitchell Robinson's dealing with that lingering ankle injury. They could have found just a replacement level player. Instead, they added the most efficient three-point shooting center in NBA history. I think that's a huge move for them. I think for a team that's been trying to get over that hump and get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, I think this is a big move. I know that they're competing with the reigning champion Boston Celtics as well as the 76ers. But I think this move to get Karl Anthony Towns is going to put them over the hump. I think this is the year that they finally make a run and go to the NBA Finals. So I want to know what you guys think about that.
That gets Will excited just hearing you say that.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, it is a huge trade. No one expected it, and I think that's another part. There were talks about it for years. Oh, Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks. And it kind of fizzled out, and he recognized that too. But when it was announced, and that night, I was shocked.
Was it not sudden?
It was very sudden. It was very sudden for Karl, for Julius, for Dante, for both organizations. It genuinely feels like they just, you know what? Let's do it. Let's talk about it from the Timberwolves perspective real quick. Because that's, if I was a Timberwolf fanatic, I think you got to take a look at this trade more on the Timberwolves side. It affects them more.
Yeah.
You're losing Karl Anthony Towns. And it seemed like they were doing well. They went to the Western Conference Finals last year. And it didn't appear to me, and it didn't appear that there were behind-the-scenes issues. They kind of blew that up. It worked. If you get to the Western Conference Finals, it worked. Something worked. So on the Timberwolves' perspective, and I'm not saying, because I love Julius Randle, and it could fit, but if you look at the spacing with Gobert and Randle and Edwards, it confuses me. Because you had that three-point shooter in Cat who would leave the paint, allow Gobert to stand in, just enough for him to get either a rebound or a clear out on the offensive side. Now you have Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, who are two ball-forward heavy guys. You see it worked kind of with the Knicks, but they had, more of a, I want to say, defensive mindset. And besides for the starting lineup of Minnesota, their bench now with Dante DiVincenzo, it's really fantastic. The roster on paper is fantastic. But I don't know if it beats their roster last year. And that's where I say the Knicks have the advantage. Their roster right now is completely better than last year. Yes, you have Karl Anthony Towns, and you got to look at the spacing. It's all about spacing in the championship. Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, and even Luke Kornet. They spaced the floor unbelievably. And for the Knicks, I think you saw it in one preseason game. 5 minutes they spent together. There was no one clogging up the paint. And when Robinson comes back, you say, you know what, we're going down defensively. Put Robinson in at the 5 and have Karl Anthony at the 4.
Yep.
It's going to work out. And for both teams, I think they'll kind of be the same. But I would be more concerned as a Timberwolves fan.
Okay, so I have a disagreement, I guess. I think for the Timberwolves, obviously the saying is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I think this is a 1 step back, 2 steps forward type of deal where you need to extend the Anthony Edwards window, and paying 2 big men $40+ million a year does not do that at all. So it relieves them of some cap. If you look at who they drafted, they got Rob Dillingham, which I think is a great guard to have off the bench.
They
or
drafted
even start.
really well.
Yeah, they had a great draft. Naz Reid is still there. Gobert, obviously, you can't do much with him. He's not expendable at all because no one's going to take on his money. So I think they're trying to kind of push their timeline back a little bit so that Anthony Edwards has a longer window for when he can, because he's still very young. He's a young player, and I think Cat, yes, they were best friends and they got along really well and they played well together on the court, as you mentioned, Western Conference Finals. But is that sustainable considering the financial impacts that it has? I'm not so sure, and I think that's why they were trying to move on from Cat, because they were not able to move on from
Totally
Gobert.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Because I think if they were able to move on from Gobert, he would be the one gone, and Cat would be the one that stays.
Oh, on the behind-the-scenes side, 100%, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's just when you look at it from a Julius Randle perspective,
Right. Yeah.
if they traded for more of like a true 3,
Yeah.
I mean, Dante is
But
like,
OG was not going to be someone that you could
OG
get
was
from
not
the
going to be
Knicks.
going, Josh Hart,
No.
not of that caliber.
Yeah.
So yes, I totally agree with you on the cap stuff. And the
Yeah.
Knicks, oh my goodness, they made some smart moves with
Yeah,
this
they
salary
did.
cap. I view it as one trade. That's how I've been looking at it. It's the Knicks trading for Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns. They're giving up Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo,
Right, yeah.
and
Their entire offseason as a
some
whole is how you
picks.
look at it. Yeah.
That is unbelievable. And their window is not like a Brooklyn Nets or a New York Jets.
No.
They have a good 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
of being able to go to the Western Conference Finals. And the goal for the Knicks is not to win right now. They just win within the next
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah, I think obviously their core at this point is incredible. Like, their starting lineup is a lineup that I think anyone would want, and it's not too reliant, which may be a Timberwolves problem. It's not reliant on just one person. Like,
Exactly.
yes, Brunson can give you 40 on any given night, but Bridges can go off for 7 threes and fill up the stat sheet that way, or he can just defend. So I think the Knicks are a little bit more versatile at this point, and like I said, for the Timberwolves, maybe it requires them to not make a Western Conference Finals push this year, but in hopes that the players that they just drafted, along with Naz Reid, all of those guys continue to develop and grow, including Anthony Edwards. Like I said, he's still very young and he has plenty of room to grow. I think for them, maybe they don't make that Western Conference Finals push this year, in hopes for maybe a finals run in the next 5 or 10
I agree.
even. So it's also going to be hard to keep Anthony Edwards in Minnesota because it's not a large market. So we'll see. I'm interested to see. I think it's all centered around Anthony Edwards, which obviously
It should.
no one's doubting that. But for the Knicks, like, super competitive move, and I'm excited to see how Cat spaces the floor, because I don't think, when's the last time they've had a center like that?
So,
They've
I
had
mean,
it Porzingis.
KP
Yeah.
was really a 4, and
Yeah.
really before that was Bargnani.
Yeah, so
We haven't really had, the Knicks have not really had a true shooting center.
they just have so much talent. It is wild to see.
So you guys both analyzed the trade impact on the roster for the Timberwolves and for the Knicks, but I kind of want to get a concrete prediction from you. I know it's been 2 years in a row the Knicks have lost in the Eastern Conference semifinals. So do you think that this is the year that they can get over the hump and get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, or break through and go to the NBA Finals?
Well, yeah, Josh. The last 2 years haven't been the type. I mean, it's not like the Knicks went into the season like this year. They weren't the Celtics, and they weren't the front runners. And this year was injury plagued. Unfortunate what transpired. And the year before, or the 2 years prior, or even the year before, and when we got to the first round against the Hawks, that was kind of unexpected. Now the expectation is you got to get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals. And if the path is right, if seeding works out, yeah, I do. It's a non-biased opinion.
Yeah.
Vegas agrees, media agrees, and if you look at the roster that is produced, the Celtics, in the East at least, the Celtics and the Sixers and the Knicks have the 3 best rosters. You never can count out the Heat.
No,
You can't count out the Bucks.
Pacers.
Can't count out the Pacers.
Yeah.
It's
going to
tough.
depend on injuries, like you said, and who gets hot at the right time.
And
Just
if
like
you look at the
playoffs, that's
bench,
how it
I mean,
is.
the bench can give you like 10 points in 3 minutes. Alfred Payton, Miles McBride. I mean, it's
Deuce,
very impactful. So, yes, I don't think it's a boom or bust season because the Knicks have, like, actually everybody locked up.
Yeah.
But I'd say reaching the Eastern Conference Finals is within them, and I could see them doing it.
Definitely doable. It's very tough to predict how the playoffs go. because if I was a betting man, I would say that the odds for them to make it are worse than the odds for them not to make it, just with how many teams there are in the East. But I think really when you look at it from a tier system, I think the Celtics and the Knicks are in that top tier now, whereas seasons prior, it was maybe just the Celtics in that top tier and then the rest of the teams. And maybe the Knicks weren't even that second-best team. Maybe before it was the 76ers.
Or the Bucks.
So I think at this point, it should be, on paper, the Celtics and the Knicks making the Eastern Conference Finals if you were to look at just by roster who the best team is. But I don't know necessarily. Like, there could be mid-season trades that happen.
You never know.
I think the Knicks are pretty much set in stone, and I don't know.
Set in stone except for Robinson, who they could figure out whether he comes back or whether they want to, move on from him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think this is the roster that they would be running with.
Yeah.
And Landry Shamit's going to get a spot, and he's going to play great minutes. Same with Elfrid Payton.
Yeah, it's a great question, though. I really enjoyed hearing that
was great.
one.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I mean, I'm not much of an NBA guy, honestly, but I will be rooting for the New York team.
There you go.
I think that it's a big addition, and seeing that they were able to make playoff runs the past 2 years and making a trade as big as this one, if I was a Knicks fan, I would be expecting them to make that next step.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to expect them to go on a deep playoff run this year.
NBA should be fun.
It'll be a very fun year. Everybody. There's not, even the quote-unquote poor teams, there needs to be an expansion.
Yeah.
There's so much talent. Richase, Sarr, people that came in. It's great.
Yeah, it's been
And I'm
good.
serious, but you were just tuning into Just Joshing. And for more on Josh Chrysler, you can see him writing for a lot of miscellaneous things for Centerfield. And Josh, you can visit Centerfield at centerfield.com.
Mm-hmm.
And this will do it for episode 1 of season 2 of the Student Section podcast. We thank Jadin Collins and Josh Pascarelli, Stefan Duncan, our executive producer, Gary Sussman, alongside Aidan, Lavin, Josh Chrysler. I'm William Rosen. Thank you for tuning into the Student Section.
Went out with a
Take
bang.
care.
End it with a boom.